So there's been a bit of a trend really on my YouTube channel. You know, obviously we were big before, okay? You know, obviously we had a lot of fun with the remixing, you know, bin, but a lot of the comments that I'm getting are actually about the music production side of things. So I think that's probably just where I'm going to focus. The format that I've been really liking is just starting with a very blank template and then from there just seeing really where it goes. And so I'm probably just going to do some more liquid today. So where would I usually start? Well, where I've been starting most recently is just finding some really simple keys. Nice. So that one, for example, it's nice and clean. Sometimes when you put one in that's a little bit too complicated, it doesn't quite capture the harmony properly. And this is just a really great trick to use. It makes your life so easy. And that's what life is all about. So there's definitely some good stuff in there, but there's also some stuff that's not so good. So what we're going to do is just take the chords one by one. So what we really want to be doing is just getting the actual chords first, rather than worrying about all these little fancy trillies on the top. So like these, for example, we just really want the actual chords first, because then it makes your life a lot easier. There it is. Maybe what that would actually look like is some nice sort of reverb to take us through the first note, because we know that the first note is exactly the same as the first chord on here because we haven't changed it. So what we've got is this. And now what we can do is maybe add in a load of reverb, turn it down a little bit, but a lot of reverb, like that. And then maybe cut out some of the low end as well, because it's going to be rather ferocious. Cool, so let's try like stacking these layers a bit as well. So again, I'll see if there's any that I've pre-made. I've actually used this plug before. And I want to layer that again, but with some more keys. Nice. Right, let's get a bass in there. I always start with the side, just to get the root notes, because that's the root of your note. So it's nice, simple sine bass. So altogether, it sounds like this. This is where we want to start kind of like freezing tracks, and then we're just going to choose very like small specific parts of it and then apply effects to it. So if we create a new track, so now we've frozen it, all you need to do is just drag down like the main portion. If you drag that, then it's going to have these little tails, and then obviously we still want this, we still need this. That bit there sounds really nice. This. Then we're going to add some nice stuff to this. So all of these plugins, by the way, these are all free. I don't pay for plugins apart from Portal, which I did pay for, and Thermal. So that's, I mean, a decent chunk to be fair. But things like Supermassive, I haven't paid for. So these are free. So you might as well just download them. Get some drums in there. I'm gonna add some like vocals as well, but not just yet. I did actually download. I'll show you the ones that I downloaded. I downloaded a bunch of snares and kicks and stuff the other day from this new pack, which is, I don't know how new it is actually, but D&B drums, Zen Hisser or Heiser. They're like really tight, which I love. So we're gonna see what we can do with it. We're not gonna spend loads of time talking about the beat because I've done other videos on that, which I know that you've watched. So let's just go ahead and put in a nice simple beat. Maybe some like really tight little. This is something I sometimes do for just to add little nice nuggets of drum effects. Take this, replace this delay with it, but then what we're actually going to automate is this. mean, that sounded pretty nice, but I do want some more sort of like jazzy breaks in there. I'll blend that. What we're going to do is we're actually going to automate into another send, which is this reverb. Now, there was another comment in my comments about how do I add vocals, so that's what we're going to do now. B flat minor. Okay, we'll try that.
That drum is in my heart. Just you and me.
So first of all, what I do is I just create a shitload of vocal tracks like this, and then I group them, and then I call it the Vox group. Now, an important thing that you saw is I always put on dry vocals, because otherwise you're going to be using other people's effects, and it will never really sit well with sort of the effect structure that we've got going on here. So we've got all these like oohs and ahs and blah de blah. Then what you want to do is you want to go and put all of these to Complex Pro and then join them, because otherwise it's just gonna sound like robotic. You hear that? Doesn't sound good. So we're gonna go Complex Pro, and then when we do that, there we are. Beautiful. I'm gonna go onto my. I've got a standard vocal rack that I always use, and all this has in it really is reverb and delay and a bit of wider, which is a free plugin. Now, there was another video where I did go through how you create one of these vocal racks, so 100% go and check that out. I'll try and remember to link it here. So without the vocal group, it sounds like this. Sounds pretty nice, but then with the vocal rack, sorry. There's going to be loads of videos online about these vocal racks and how to do them, so I would definitely go and check those out. Sounds good. So what we are going to do is we're going to turn off all of these and just see how it sounds. Alright, it's okay. Sounds okay. Yep, there it is. So now what we want to do is just things like, see what it sounds like down a semitone, or down an octave. So basically, I've taken the dry vocals, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to compress them together a little bit. So I've tripled the vocal stack. One's all the way left, one's all the way right, one's bang in the center, so that it's going to cover the whole stereo field. But then I've made these a little bit quieter, because there's kind of other elements going on from like the drums and stuff, and then I'm going to compress it together a little bit. And then this one I'm just going to add like some things like Valhalla, for example, just to because this is going to be sort of the backing that's gluing it all together. Touch me like you'll never leave me. Okay, cool. So what I've been doing in the background, I know that I always do this, right? Like we have like a 16-bar loop, and all of a sudden it does turn into a song. But the focus of this video was really to get to get to this. And like through following the video, I'm hoping that you know, you've learned a couple of things to get you to that point. Really, to actually create and maybe I'll do a separate video on this, but to create the intro and the build-up is actually fairly straightforward, because you've already got all of the elements here that you've been creating over the last couple of hours, and you just need to basically, like Meccano or Lego, is try different pieces together and see how it sounds. So what I mean by that is this intro is basically the drums the vocals, and then just the just sort of the lo-fi keys at the beginning. Now, we've already created all of that anyway, so there's not really much point in remaking the wheel, or whatever the phrase is. So when we then get into sort of the B section of the intro, what we then have is exactly the same thing, but with some risers. So we have risers and crashes. So basically all you need to do is find a bunch of crashes that are different lengths. I never warp these because, you know, you want it to sort of sound a bit more natural. You don't want it to be automated to the beat. And then you reverse some bits of it, and you reverse exactly the same. And then what you're left with is just some nice crashes. And I put a bit of reverb on there as well. So we're going to call this up, down, group, because they're going up and they're going down. So for the intro, again, all we've got is the drums, which are just being copied across, and then we've got a duplicated bass. I'm going to call this sub bass intro, like that, which is exactly the same processing. There's no difference between these two. The only difference is this one is much lower. So if you listen to this on its own, and then the main one, they're very similar apart from the volume. So again, we've not really done too much. When it gets to this little breakdown, we've just duplicated all of the risers across and then added in the rest of the keys that we created earlier. Yeah, so just in this final, this is the only bit where we've actually added new elements, which is in here. And really, again, guys, all it is a bunch of risers, and I found like kind of like a snare build up. I automated. What I did is I recorded that into its own track. So we've got build full. So this is the build. So I've just taken one part of the vocal, repeated it, and then it gets to... And basically, as you can hear, all we've done is just automated some reverb in there. And we've also automated a frequency shifter, which is this guy, and you just automate the fine, so it's da, 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 and then cut that on this vocal. I'll be honest, I'm not massively happy with this build. It's okay. I mean, I don't know if it necessarily drops into the song that well. Builds are something that I usually spend loads and loads of time doing, but all I try to do is just flesh this out so it sounds like an actual song. So there's still a lot of work in terms of post-processing that we would want to do. There's like, it's peaking by quite a lot, but you know, we're here mainly to, you know, understand how you can actually make something that hopefully sounds similar to this, or at least something that sounds decent. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start from the start, play it all the way through, and yeah, we can get on with Christmas. There we have it, boys and girls. There we have it. Um, cool. Yeah. So, as I say, there's some things that I really like about this song. I quite like the main bit. I like the vocals. I think they sound really nice. The intro's pretty decent. The build up and kind of the actual build up to the drop. Um, if I was to continue with this song, is probably just something I would completely redo. It's okay. You know, it does the job. Apart from that, all I really wanted to go through today is, well, how can we actually get something that sounds to this sort of level so that you can go ahead and, you know, build a song out of it and have something that sounds kind of harmonious. If you haven't already, please do make sure to subscribe. Obviously, you know, we're taking the world and YouTube by storm, and we need your help to do so. Any suggestions or feedback or comments or whatever you have, do leave them down below. And, you know, if I don't see you again before Christmas, have a very nice Christmas, have a very nice New Year, and stay safe. Thank you. Yeah.